Hello, everyone, and welcome to another excuse me YouTube video. My name is Ricky, and today I am gonna show you, or today we're gonna run you through the entire Boeing jet airliner lineup. Now, the uh, come on, no, work with me here. Some technical difficulties. There we go. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna run you through the entire Boeing jet airliner lineup. Now, this video was inspired by a old short of the YouTuber Super Smell Boys. So yeah, that's what we are doing. Let me just clear a few things here. But yeah, the the Boeing aircraft is a really, how do I put this? God, I really should have expanded my script more. But yeah, there's the God, I had a whole introduction written down in my head, and I'm having a fucking blink here. I'm sorry, guys. So, okay, I got it. Okay, so what we are looking at is the what we are looking at is the lineup of all the Boeing jet airliners in Minecraft. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that, my brother in the background. But yeah, what we're gonna be doing is looking at the Boeing jet airliner lineup in Minecraft from the Boeing 707 to the Boeing 787. Now, the Boeing jet airliner is a series of 8 main um, jet airliners split up into a whole bunch of different variants. So yeah, that's what we're gonna be doing. So yeah, let's uh let's get right into it. So first, we're gonna be starting with the um, Boeing 707, which you can see is right here. It is designed by the Aero team. This is in 1.5 to 1 scale. Um, it is a narrow body airliner manufactured. Okay, so almost all of these aircrafts are going to be manufactured in the come on in the or not almost all of them are going to be manufactured in the United States um, by Boeing Commercial Aircraft. This specific aircraft is still in military service. It was primarily used by Pan American, Trans World Airlines, American Airlines, and Air France. 865 of them were built, not including the Boeing 707 -020, I believe it's called. It was manufactured, let me scroll down in my script here. It's manufactured from 1956 to 1978. Is introduced on, or bleh, words. It was introduced in October 1958 with Pan American Airlines. Its first flight was in December of 1957, 67 years ago. It was developed from the Boeing 360 7-80, which unfortunately I don't have here because I cannot find a tutorial for it. It has several different variants, including the Boeing 720, the Boeing C-137 Stratoliner, and it was developed into the Boeing E-3 Sentry, the Boeing E-6 Mercury, and the Northrop Grumman E-6, but not E-6, E-8 Joint Star. So, as you can see, we have an exterior here with the landing gear, the four Pratt& Whitney JT3D engines, and this is my favorite um, little design quirk. This right here is a radio antenna. That's literally my favorite part of this airplane. So now that we've gone over the exterior, how about we enter the interior? And as I said, this aircraft was designed by the Aero team. Make sure you go show them some love. They will be linked down below in the description. So let's start with the flight deck, shall we? The flight deck has 4 seats. You have your pilot, co-pilot, flight engineer, and navigator. And also, Aero Team, if you ever watched this, yes, I know this wasn't in your original design, but I modified it so that I could fit the flight engineer and navigator slash radio operator. So yeah, there we have those. Then we have our cabin, which the way this is designed, it was designed with a full economy cabin. And oops, I'm smart. I just pressed my reload shaders button. Oops, not there we go. And the reason there is light in here, even without sea lanterns, is because I place light blocks all over. But yeah, we have our economy cabin, and then our galleys here. So yeah, that's the Boeing 707. Now let's next move on to the Boeing 717 over here. So this plane is also designed by, come on, stop lagging, thank you. This plane is also designed by the Aero team. Uh, Give me 1 second here. Um, but yeah, this was also designed by the Aero team. It is a uh, it is a narrow-body jetliner manufactured in the United States. Its original manufacturer was McDonnell Douglas, but when Boeing bought out McDonnell Douglas, Boeing took over the manufacturing of this plane. It is still in service, primarily used by Delta and Hawaiian. It was used by Qantas and AirTran Airways, but come on, stop lagging. But they have since retired their fleets. So yeah, um, 156 of them were built. It was manufactured from 1998 to 2006. A pathetically, a, a pathetically um, short manufacturing time span of just 8 years. It was introduced in October of 1999 with AirTran Airways. Its first flight was in September 1998, and it was developed for the McDonnell Douglas MD-8. So as you can see, we have a exterior with a lot of landing lights, landing on the wing, our two engines. Yeah, unfortunately, so this is in one-to-one scale. Unfortunately, just due to the massive size of Minecraft blocks, we unfortunately cannot put in an interior because the space is just too small, which sucks. But yeah, it is what it is. So yeah, now let's move on to the 727 here. So yeah, this 727 is also designed by the Aero team. Most of these planes, did I mention that this plane was designed by the Aero team? If I did not, well, the 717 was designed by the Aero team. But yeah, most of these planes are going to be designed by the Aero team. But yeah, we have our Boeing 727 here. My God. Uh, yeah, hold on 1 second here. We have our Boeing 727 here. It's a narrow-body jetliner manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is a limited cargo and executive service, primarily used by Aerosecret. There's a lot of jokes to be made there. 1,832 of these were built. It's manufactured from 1962 to 1984. It was introduced in February 1964 with Eastern Airlines, and its first flight was 1963, 61 years ago. And let's check it out. So as you can see, we have the exterior here um, with our three engines, three Pratt& and Whitney JT8D engines. Yeah, I'm actually currently working on the tutorial for this plane. Yeah, so with the exterior out of the way, let's go check out the interior. So, since this is in 1.5 to 1 scale, we actually have a interior for this plane. So let's start up here. We have our pilot, co-pilot, and flight engineer with our throttle quadrant overhead panel. And then we have our all economy cabin here, and then our rear galleys, our lavatories, and we have the rear air stairs. So the Boeing 727, and I forgot to mention it with the Boeing 717. So they are T, which means that the vertical stabilizers are not mounted down here, but up here, and the engines are not mounted under the wings, but on the rear fuselage in place of the uh, vertical stabilizers. Wow, that took me a while. Yeah, and that makes room to put in an extra door at the back with rear air stairs, or with air stairs. And if you know anything about aviation history, you might recall, crap, I forget which exact flight number it is. Give me 1 second here. Uh, okay. Northwest Airlines Flight 5. A man named D.B. Cooper hijacked um, a Northwest Airlines Boeing 727 operating flight 305. Um, yeah, he hijacked the plane, and then at some point he opened up the rear air stays and jumped out. And after that incident, there's a, it's not represented here, but there's a special lock that called a Cooper chain that was installed on the exterior of the aircraft to prevent the door from being opened in flight. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's move on to the Boeing 737. So, I built three different variants of the Boeing 737. Let me just clear this first. Um, First up, we have the original model, which represents the dash 100 and dash 200. I have specifically the dash 200 to represent these two models. This is, once again, designed by the Aero team. Yeah. So, it is a narrow body airline liner manufactured in the United States by Boeing. It is in service with a primary user being aviation, which is a cargo airline. Over 1,800 of these were built. It was manufactured from 1966 to 1988. It was introduced on February 10th, 1968 with Lufthansa Airlines. Its first flight was in April of 1967, 57 years ago. It's it has a couple of different variants, including the Boeing T-43. It was developed into the Boeing 737 Classic, the Boeing 737 Next Generation, and the Boeing 737 MAX. And yeah, let's take a closer look at the plane. So, this plane is rather unique with its engine choice of the Pratt& & Whitney JT3D. Here I have the bucket reversers open. Unfortunately, I do not have the flaps or the spoilers extended. I literally just chose this as a fun little addition to represent the thrust reversal layout of the plane. It is a rather short plane by today's standards. And yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the interior. Here we have the flight deck, a rather very, very dense flight deck. Yeah. Um, oh yeah, I did make a couple modifications. Okay, I couldn't remember if I did. So yeah, this is a modification that I installed to represent the overhead panel. We have our flight instruments, our pilot and co-pilot seats. Then we have the um, forward lavatory. Oh wait, okay. Yeah, we have a forward lavatory. Then we have our first class, economy class. Like, actually, is that first or business? I don't remember. Anyways, yeah, we have those two classes. And if we come back here, we have a very small rear galley. And yeah, that's the Boeing 737 original. Next up, let me turn off this texture pack. Since this plane was designed in the default texture pack, not the Aero 2 texture pack that I'm currently wearing. And while that's doing that, I'm gonna go ahead and delete this. Alright, so this is the Boeing 737 class. It is specifically represented by the Boeing 737-500, I believe it is. I don't. It is designed by Adibo. I hope I pronounced your name correctly. If I do not, I am very sorry, man. Yeah. So, um, yeah, it is a narrow-body aircraft manu- er, manufactured. Okay, yeah, it is a narrow-body aircraft manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is currently in service with a couple of primary users being UT Air and JetDude.com. It was, it was, or bad words. It used to be used by Southwest Airlines and U.S. Airways, but they have retired their fleets and since merged with American Airlines. So yeah, they're no longer in operation. 1,988 of these were built. They were manufactured from 1981 to 2000. It was introduced on November 28, 2000. Blah, not 2000. November 28, 1984, with U.S. Air, which is what U.S. Airways was before they changed their name and branding. It, it had its first flight on February of 1984. It was developed from the Boeing 737 original, and it was developed into the Boeing 737 next generation. So yeah, so we have our exterior with our two CFM56 engines, with its iconic hamster pouch-shaped inlet cowling, and just overall engine shape. Yeah, pretty cool design here. And go ahead and enter the plane. Oh, and by the way, Adibo, if you are watching this, I managed to get these sea lanterns to light up by placing in a couple of light blocks in front of them. I don't know if I know you mainly use Bedrock, man. So I honestly don't know if you would be able to include that in your design. So yeah, let's first start up here with the flight deck here. Yeah, pretty cool flight deck. We have our lavatory. We have our, again, I don't remember this is first or business class, then our economy class, a couple more lavatories. Okay, there are cylinders out there. Okay. And then we have our rear galleys, along with the flight attendant jump seat. So yeah, that's that plane. That's the classic out of the way. Next up, we have our uh, Boeing 737 next generation. Hold on a second. Okay, here we go. So yeah, this plane is designed by the Aero team. It is a narrow body airliner uh, manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is in service with military variants in production. It is primarily used by Southwest Airlines, Ryanair, United Airlines, and American Airlines. 7,100 of these. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna fix that real quick. Oh, okay. Oh, it's slash slash dash, not slash slash. Oops, my bad. Yeah, what did I say? Oh yeah, 7,113 of these were have been built as of December 2024. This manufactured from 1966. Or sorry, I'm trying to look at two screens at once. It's manufactured from 1996 to 2020 for the civilian variants, and from 1996 to now for the military variants. It was introduced in December 1997 with Southwest Airlines, and its first flight was in February of that year, 1997, 27 years ago. It was developed from the Boeing 737 Classic. It has several variants, including the Boeing Business Jet, the Boeing C-40 Clipper, the Boeing E-7 Wedgetail, funny name, the Boeing P-8 Poseidon, and the Boeing P-8 Poseidon, and it was developed into the Boeing 737 MAX. Now, like I said, it is designed by the Aero team, and the specific that I have is the Dash 800. So the uh, NG series has um, four, no, five variants. Um, has the Dash 600, Dash 700, Dash 900, and Dash 900 ER. And like I said, a specific variant that I have here is a Boeing 737 800. We have our exterior here with our two CFM56 engines. Again, with its iconic hamster pouch-shaped inlet. Um, Very cool design. This is a cool trick. So, just due to the way Minecraft works and the dimensions work out in real life, the landing gear for the nose gear actually falls in between block layers. So, what the Aero team did was come up with a very cool technique. dead fire coral fins to place a to place it in between blocks, just like that. Pretty cool design. So yeah. They also did the same thing for the um main gear here. So yeah, pretty cool design. This was one of my favorite designs to build. But yeah, with all of that out of the way, let's make a hop into the uh interior. So yeah, like I said, this is designed by the Aero team with several modifications by me. So many of so many of these planes are older designs. So the texture pack has been shifted around quite a bit. So I had to go and look for blocks that will look good. So yeah, I had to make several modifications there. But yeah, here we have the incredibly cramped flight deck here. Lavatory, our first or business class. Again, I don't remember. Our economy class. Did we put in galleys? Yes, we did. We have our four galleys here. Um, More lavatories, and our rear galleys. And yeah, that's the Boeing 737 next generation. So yeah, let's make a start on the Boeing 737 Max. And before you keyboard warriors go to the comments, I don't want to hear shit about the 737 Max. This is purely a video to represent the Boeing jetliners. I don't want any politics in my comments. If there are politics, I will be deleting it, just so you know. But yeah, here we have the Boeing 737 MAX. It is a narrow-bodied airliner manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is in service, primarily used by Ryanair, United, and Alaska. 1,680 have been built as of December 2024. It is, or it was meant, or manufacturing started in 2014. It is still in, um, it is still being manufactured, or it is still in production. It was introduced in May of 2017 with, crap, my mouse died. Hold on. Okay, there we go. But yeah, it was what was that? Oh yeah, um, it was introduced in May 2017 with Malindo Air. It is um, it had its first flight in January of 2016, 8 years ago. 37 next generation. So this is also a aero team design with modifications made by me. Here we have our two massive CFM LEAP engines with actually a very genius way to represent the chevrons. We have our split tip winglets from the see if I can get a good angle from the blunt tip APU and on the NG series. Yeah, yeah, pretty cool design. And now let's hop into the cabins. So really, nothing changed between the cabins of the NG series and the Max series for the Aero Team design. So we have our tech first business or first class. I'm just gonna call it first class because I don't want to keep saying either first or business class, so I'm just gonna call it first class. Our economy class, our four galleys, and then our brig galleys, and yeah, that's the 737 Max. And I'm just gonna switch texture packs here. And here we have the Boeing 737, no, 7, Boeing 747, designed by Lord Dakar, or Lord Dacker, or, I'm sorry, man, I don't know how to say your name, so if you watch this video, I'm really sorry. But yeah, we have our Boeing 747. This specific, oh, I forgot to mention, over here, the 737 MAX has four different variants. The Max 7, okay, or the weather, but yeah. So yeah, the 737 Max has several different variants, or four different variants. The Max 7, Max 8, Max 9, and Max 10. The specific variant that I have here is the Max 8. And the reason I'm saying that is because the Boeing 747 has a whole bunch of different variants. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I've been represented by the Dash 400 here. Yeah, I'm being represented by the Dash 400 here. Yeah, pretty cool design by Lord Dakar. Again, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. So if you watch, yeah, this is an unknown scale. Uh, 200, 800, and Max 8 are all in 1.5 to 1 scale. I don't know if I mentioned that. But yeah, I don't know what scale this is in, so unfortunately, we do not have an interior. So yeah, we'll just do a fly around of the exterior while I give you the history of this plane. So it is a wide-body jet airline manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is in cargo service and in limited passenger service. It was primarily used by Pan Am went out of business. It is still being used by UPS Airlines, Cargolux, and Lufthansa. 1570, the original N7470 prototype, is manufactured from 1968 to 2023. It was introduced in January 1970 with Pan Am Airlines, or Airways, my bad. It had its first flight on February of 19 ago. It has several different variants, including the Boeing Dreamlifter, the Boeing E4, the Boeing BC-25, which you might know as Air Force One, Boeing Yal-1, the shuttle carrier aircraft, Sophia, and the 747 supertanker, which is used for fighting wildfires. It was developed into the Boeing 747 SP, the Boeing 747-400, which I have right here, and the Boeing 747-8. And like I said, we don't have a interior just due to the fact that I don't know what scale to build it in. So yeah, it's literally just a hollow. So yeah, um, go and close that. We have our four engines, our winglets, and yeah, our upper deck. Yeah, pretty cool design. Let me turn the texture back on. Texture pack back on. And then let me just load in the world here. Alright, so next up, we have the Boeing 757 and 1.5 to 1 scale. Uh, yeah, designed by the Aero team. So yeah, um, specifically the Dash 200 model. Oh, I think I forgot to mention with the 707, 717, and 727. So the 707 has several different variants. The model I showed you is specifically the Dash 320B. 717, the model I showed you is the Dash 200. I don't know if they had any other variants. I'm not sure. And the 727 has at least two different variants, the Dash 100 and the Dash 200. I showed you the Dash 200. The 757 has several different variants. Right here is the Dash 200. And yes, it is designed by the Aero team. So, further history on it. It is a narrow-body jet airliner manufactured in the United States by Boeing Airplanes. Airlines, what the hell? Keep saying airlines. It is in service, primarily used by Delta, FedEx, United, and UPS. 1,050 of these were built over its production run from of 1981 to 2004. It was it was introduced in January 1983 with Eastern Airlines. It had its first flight in February of the previous year, 1982, 42 years ago, and it has several different variants, including the Boeing C-32, which you guys might know as Air Force Two. So here we have our exterior. Here we have so it has two different engine options: the Rolls-Royce RB211s or the Pratt & Whitney PW2000s. I went ahead with the Pratt & Whitney PW2000s for this model. Yeah, yeah, pretty cool model here. I also fitted it with scimitar winglets, which um, which I believe is the variant that is used by Icelandair. But well, actually, I know Icelandair uses it. I don't know if any others do. You can feel free to let me know in the comments. So yeah, with that out of the way, let's enter the very detailed interior here. So for any longer aircrafts like the 757, you won't enter through the first door, you will enter through the second door. So if you were in first class, you would go to the first class. If you're in economy, you'll go down to economy. That they do this to speed up the loading process. So yeah, we're gonna make our start at the flight deck. Pretty detailed flight deck here, and the cool design quirk of the 757 is the flight deck uh, is a step down. So the pilot would go. Oh, I'm stuck on. I was stuck on the galley trapdoor. So they would enter. The pilots would enter, and you would actually step down into the flight deck. It's pretty cool design quirk. So yeah, and then they would get ready to fly. So we have our pilot and co-pilot seats, throttle quadrant, uh, control columns, upper or overhead panel. Yeah, pretty cool. Then we have our first class lavatories, mid lavatories. Our economy class. Um, Another lavatory, flight attendant jump seat, more economy class, rear galleys, and yeah, that's the Boeing 757. And then we have our Boeing 767 here. Sorry about that lag there. Okay, give me 1 second here. And here we have our Boeing 767. Um, it is designed by the Aero team. Uh, it has several different variants. The variant that I have here is specifically the Dash 200. Boeing 72 or 72, excuse me. 767 is a wide-body airliner manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Air. It is in service and in cargo production. It is primarily used by Delta, FedEx, UPS, and United Airlines. 1,321 have been built as of 2020. It is it has a production run of 1981 to now. So they started manufacturing them in 1981. They're still manufacturing them now. And those of you with sharper ears might have noticed that they started production on the 767 before the 757. I don't know why, but yeah, that's what they chose to do. It was introduced in September of 1982 with United Airlines. It had its first flight a year ago, or a year previously in September of 1981. It has several different variants. 767, Boeing KC-46 Pegasus, the Boeing KC-767, and the Northrop Grumman E-10 NC-2A. So yeah, with all of that out of the way, like I said, this is the Dash 200 model designed by the Aero team. We have a pretty cool exterior with winglets um, and the Rolls-Royce RB211 engines. So the Boeing 767, at least the Aero team design, came with three different engine options: the Pratt Whitney PW4000, the Boeing, or not Boeing, General Electric CF6, or the Rolls-Royce RB211s. I chose to go with the Rolls-Royce RB211s for this model. So yeah, that's that out of the way. And just like the 757, you would enter through the second door on the left in the Boeing 767. You would take a right to go down the first class, or take a left to go down the first class or take a right to go down to economy class. We're gonna go ahead and get started up at the flight deck. And I forgot to mention this in the 757, but you might have noticed that the Boeing 757 has a tan brown coloration in the cockpit. That is true to the real life 757. And the Boeing 767 has the same coloration of tan brown. So yeah, um, yeah, tan brown coloration for the 767 flight deck with our captain or pilot, co-pilot, extra pilot for the long haul flights. So yeah, and then we have our lavatory. I believe that is. We have our fun galleys, another couple of lavatories. We have our first class here, a couple of mid galleys or galleys, couple of mid lavatories here. Our economy class with more lavatories. Sorry about that. Yeah, yeah, our mid galleys, lavatories. Oh, and by the way, you might have noticed that there are buttons on some of the seats and no buttons on some other seats. That's because the ones with the buttons are premium economy. With that, the buttons are regular economy. So yeah, we have more lavatories, a lot more lavatories. And finally, we have our rear galley. And that's the Boeing 767. Wait, no, this is not the Dash 200 model. My bad. This is the Dash 300 ER. Sorry about that. And next up, we have the 777. Alright, let me turn off the texture pack since this is not an Aero Team design. Uh, Excuse me. Alright, so now next up we have the Boeing 777. This is designed by Adigo. It has several different variants. The variant that I have here, Dash 200. And I'm actually gonna have to look this up because I don't remember off the top of my head. Uh, Give me a second here. Okay, here we go. All right, so put that there. All right, so this is a Boeing. It is a wide-body jet airliner, manufactured in the United States by. Oh, sorry about that lag there. By Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is in service primarily by Emirates, United, Qatar, and Air France. 1700 been built as of December 2024 based on deliveries. It is, or it started being manufactured in 1993 and is still being produced to this day. It was introduced in June of 1995 with United Airlines, and it had its first flight on June of 1994, 34, or not 34, 30 years ago. It has several different variants, including the Boeing 777X, which we will take a look at next. Yeah, so like I said, this is a 200 model. There are several different engine options based on which variant you have. So the engine options are the Pratt Whitney PW4000, the Trent 800, or the General Electric GE90. And for this specific model, I went ahead and I chose the PW4000s for the engine options. So yeah, that's what we have here. Again, sorry about that lag. Yeah, so yeah, pretty cool exterior. And again, this is designed by Adibo, and again Adibo. I used light source blocks to provide lights. I also made a couple of modifications to the interior, which we will look at in a minute here. Very massive aircraft. Yeah, and same boat as the previous two aircraft. You would enter through the second door to board the aircraft. And yeah, let's go ahead and hop on in. Pretty massive interior here. We have our lavatories. We have our first class. And this is not a lavatory, it's the entrance to the um, pilot's rest area, which we will take a look at soon. We have our flight deck with the same tan brown coloration that we saw in the 6. Our two pilots, extra seat. Uh, let's go and take a look at the pilot rest area. Yeah, we have a pilot's rest area here. Pretty cool design with a couple of beds. Yeah, like I said, we have our first class. We have our galleys and our economy class. And the modifications I made was I added sea lanterns to provide light. Some more galleys, some and some more lavatories, some more economy class, some more galleys. and economy class. And you know what? I forgot to put in some lighting here. Oops. Go ahead and do that now. I will be right back. Alright, my apologies about that. My mom wanted to show me something funny. Alright, but yeah, alright, there we go. We got some lighting in here. But yeah, that's the Boeing 7 or 777. Alright, let's continue on. And here we have the massive. There are several different variants of this plane. The specific model I have is the dash dash 9. So there's the dash 8 and the dash 9, and specifically I have the dash 9. So yeah, just wait for this texture pack to load, and we can get on with it. Sorry, I'm adjusting my earbuds here. I use Bluetooth earbuds. So yeah, so here we have the Boeing 777-9X. It is designed by the Aero team. Yeah, it is basically to the 777 what the Max is to the or what the 737 Max is to the NG. It is basically the next generation. All right, so for history, this is the Boeing 777X. It is but it is a wide-body jet airliner manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It had its first flight in January of 2020. Um, Oh, that's 5 years ago. I wrote this script last year, so yeah, that's how long I've been working on this. So yeah, I wrote this script last year, but it took me until now to be able to actually make a video because I've been so busy with building all of these models. Um, it's they have an introduction for next year. It is still in in-flight testing. It was produced from 2017, or it started production in 2017. It is still being produced now. Four of these massive planes are built, and it is developed from the Boeing 777. And here we have very, very massive General Electric GE90. Yeah, it is very cool engine. Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and break this down. I just wanted to show you that real quick. And yes, if you guys want to build these airplanes, I will go ahead and provide different tutorials in the video description, along with links to the channels of the wonderful people who designed these planes. But yeah, that was the General Electric GE90. Very massive exterior with our massive landing gear, massive engines, very massive wings. Oh my god, these took so long to build. And yeah, just overall massive fuselage. Hold on. I'm gonna tell you exactly how big this plane is, or how long it is. There you go. Well, that is so useful. It is 116 blocks long, and the massive wingspan is. Hold on. Wingspan is 103 blocks long with the wingtips folded. So, fun quirk about X. The wings are so massive that it cannot fit in a regular gate with the wingtips extended. So what Boeing did is they created foldable wing. The plane is pulling into the gate. They can fold up the wingtips so they can fit in the gate. Pretty cool design. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at the cabin now. So let's start up here at the flight deck. So unlike the older 777, instead of having a tan brown coloration, Boeing went ahead with the dark gray coloration for the flight deck. So we have our pilot and co-pilot, and then jump seats. We have our pilot's rest area. We have our business class cabin. We have our lavatories, two on either side. More lavatories. We have our mid galleys, and I forgot to show you the front galleys here. Pretty cool. Come on, a little bit laggy. Sorry about that. And then we have our mood lighting here. Here we have our lighting, which I went ahead and represented with diamond blocks. But yeah, I also had to modify this design a little bit because of the this was designed in an older texture pack. So yeah, and the reason it cuts off right here is because in here is the pilot's rest area. So yeah, we cannot install the lighting because of where the pilot's rest area is. Yeah, that's why we don't have the lighting right there. But yeah, this is we have our business class and our economy class. Okay, hold on. Business class, economy class, um, more lavatories and galleys, more economy class, and then more lavatories and galleys. So yeah, and then we also have the lightest center rest area up here. Pretty cool design. And yeah, last but not least, we have the Boeing 787, designed by Lord Dakar. I believe this is the Dash 10, according to Lord Dakar. So the 787 has several different variants, and Dakar, again, don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. I believe he said this is the Dash 10, if I recall correctly. So yeah, the Boeing 787 is a wide-body jet airliner manufactured in the United States by Boeing Commercial Airplanes. It is in service, primarily used by All Nippon Airways, United Airlines, American Airlines, and Japan Airlines. 1,161 have been built as of December 2024. It was meant, or it started its production run in 2007, still being manufactured today. It was introduced in October 2011 with December of 2009, 15 years ago. And Lord Dakar, Lord Decker, did not provide a scale. So yeah, I don't know what scale this is in, and unfortunately, because there's no scale, there's no interior. So yeah, and I just realized I forgot to turn off my texture pack. Sorry about that. back. I'm sitting on a stool right now because my chair's broken. So yeah, my back is not happy with me. But yeah, that's the Boeing 787. So yeah, um, I hope you enjoyed this little foray into the Boeing jet airliner lineup, starting from the 707 to the Boeing 787. This took me this video took me so long to make. Not the actual recording process, but the oh my god, the the preparing process. Dear Lord. So I have been on this world for um if you can take a look in the top left corner, I've been on this world for 81 days. As you know, each world or each day in Minecraft is about 20 minutes long. So hold on. I'm gonna switch this over to uh, divided by 60 divided by 24. I've been on this world for 2.5 days, but not straight up. I broke it up into little bits between my job, um, family stuff. Yeah, so yeah, it was a very long process to get this video up, but let me tell you, it was definitely worth it. So yeah, with all of that out of the way, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that you like, subscribe, leave a comment, turn on your bell notifications, share the video, do all that fun stuff. Make sure you go check out the wonderful of these models in the description below. Lord Doctor, Picard, Adipo, and the Arrow team. And yeah, with all of that out of the way, I will log off of this world. Give me a second here. Yeah, I will catch you guys next time. Bye bye. Okay, hold on. Yeah,